Hi everyone, it's December 5th, 2012. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. First, I want to say thank you to Dr. Flippin, and boy would I love to see this on the Young Turks or Rachel Maddow. I'd be happy to talk with any of them. Honest, I would. Enough of that. Thank you again, Dr. Flippin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What I want to really talk about today is, well, I got a couple of things on my mind. First off, there's a whole big controversy going on, apparently, that I'm missing out on about Christmas and Christmas decorations and Christmas trees and Bill O'Reilly and atheists and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I get the atheist point. I really do. That, maybe municipalities could spend that money on something else other than promoting a certain religion because, according to the Constitution, government isn't supposed to do that. On the other hand, besides having four fingers and a thumb, it's Christmas. A time of peace and joy and brotherhood, allegedly. We've turned it into crass commercialism, but it's supposed to be peace and joy and love. Let it be. Okay, municipalities, governments don't spend any more money on it, but it's Christmas. Now I want to talk about the new God, because apparently in this country, and frankly all over the whole world, there's a new God in town, and we all have to fall down on our knees and bow our heads and worship, and oh my goodness, yes, and that God would be business. Why, if it's good for business, it's good for you too. And here in Wilmington, Vermont, we've got a microcosm of that argument. This guy came to town last year or 2 years ago or whatever, and he bought up a ski mountain that's out of business and another place that has been in business for a long time, and he's bought a couple other places, and, now he wants to turn our little bitty airport, which has more deaths than any other airport in the state, because of, wind shear, and we're right here in this tiny little valley where you got winds coming in all over the place, but he wants to turn that into a jet port, so the bigger private jets can land here. They'll have enough runway, and to do that, he needs more land. Well, the land that's abutting this, is owned by the municipalities because of tax reasons. People got way out of budget, and they lost their properties due to taxes. So this guy wants to have the municipalities in Dover and Wilmington give him those properties, which is against state law. They can be sold for the taxes, but we can't give them to him. But there's what I'm talking about is, I need this to make me wealthier. Give it to me. I have money. Give me some more. That's the new God. If you have money, you're the priest because, business controls everything. If business really controlled everything, we'd likely have snow today instead of rain here. And oh yeah, here it is, December 5th. We've got rain in Vermont. But warming's a myth. Businesses will tell you so. Or the business mouths, the senators and representatives who are bought and sold daily on the block to the great God, business. Just ask Boehner. Ryan, go ahead. Ask them who is buying and selling them. And I guarantee you, one of the names going to come up is Adelson, the CEO of all those munificent casinos in Macau, etc., Hong Kong, who pumped, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars into the failed campaign of Mitt Romney, who also pumped a lot of money into that campaign. And they're really, all these guys are running around now, why did we lose? We spent all that money. Well, mainly because all us regular people were allowed to vote too. I know that you don't like that, but that's the way it goes. And, the regular people in those swing states said, nah, we'll take the black guy because he's more like us than you'll ever going to be. And there you go. One of us, one guy connected with us, the other one was going to shit on us. Of 47%, I'm not going to represent them. That's what I mean. And this noise about, the Dover and Wilmington ought to give this guy some property, and now he's going in for, you got these funds set aside from Irene last year that you're still using. You ought to, loan me some of those. That's what I thought banks were for. There you go, Bubba. You might want to go to the bank and get a loan so you can buy all these properties, but then the bank would want some interest, wouldn't they? Can you say, have cake, eat it too? This here, in a nutshell, folks, is what's wrong with this country here in 2012. Just because they have some money doesn't mean we all got to bow down and give them some more. We can treat them just like we treat each other, with respect, with dignity, with love, and with a firm no when you're getting too damn greedy for your own good. Now, I might add that, one of the places this guy has bought, it's been in business, it's been in business here for a long, long time, and he's operating on a skeleton crew, which is what these birds do. They come in, they buy up everything, and then there's a skeleton crew of part-timers. Because full-timers, want benefits, and we can't have that, because, that would mean taking dollars out of our pockets. And full-timers want a regular job that they can work at and pay their bills, and, that wouldn't be good for my economy, because if he can pay his bills, he's going to buy a car, and he's going to be on the same road that I am. And there you go, folks. That's what the hell this economy nowadays is all about. How to divide us up, split us up in smaller and smaller groups until you have this one big group of people who have virtually nothing. No voice, no power, no money, and who counts them? They're not rich. Who cares what they think? There you go. The great God business. It's a shame. It really is. It really, really is a shame. I don't know whatever happened to this country. I missed it somewhere along the line. I was out of touch for a long time, apparently, because when I was growing up, everybody could be a success. We were taught that in school, that we all had the opportunity here to be a success. Guaranteed, nowadays, that for sure is not true. You will have some successes. Of course you will. You're going to have your great athletes who go and shoot their girlfriends. You're going to have this and the other one who, for whatever reason, being lucky, kissing the right number of butts at the right times, are going to be successful. And you're going to have the entrepreneurs who come up with a brand new idea or a brand new way to pursue something, and they will be successes. You will have that. But what you don't have is the opportunity for all to be a success. Of course, you've never had that, but damn sure in the 50s and 60s and 70s, a whole lot more people could be successful than they can now. And that's the God's honest truth. Mainly because of the idea of, I have something, you got to give me some more. I'm going to try to get to the Wilmington Select Board meeting tonight to throw my opinion out there that, that's enough of this. You have money. I shouldn't have to give you mine. I could be strange about that. It's always a possibility. But I am damn sick of these rich guys, these business opportunists, pirates, thieves, saying, I have a lot, you owe me something. No, I don't. You owe us. We got schools need fixed up. We got roads need plowed in the winter if we ever get snow. We got all those things. Boys and girls, it really is time to slow it down and bring it back to reality here. Common people, regular people, everyday people have needs and wants and desires too. And yes, Bill O'Reilly, that means we want stuff. And yeah, John Boehner, it means that what I've paid in Social Security all of my working life, you don't get to give it to some banker because, well, he wants to join that country club, and this guy over here, he thinks he ought to have a bonus, which, there you go. Hostess is going bankrupt, and the entire top tier of management thinks they should get bonuses of, $100,000 apiece. When the hell did we start rewarding bankruptcy? Think about it. The great God business says, well, I wear a suit and tie, you owe me something. Yeah, right. Maybe it's time we rethink our gods and get back to the idea that maybe we ought to treat each other decently instead of having classes all the damn time and thieves pretending to be holy men. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's the Schmuck Look. Peace out there.